All right, good morning, everyone. I am Misty. This is This Family Life. Today, we are going to talk about 15 common mistakes that people make at the grocery store that are costing you money. So, if you can cut out doing these 15 things, you will start saving money in the grocery store. Now, as we go through these, we're going to talk about whether I agree with these things or I disagree with these things. And we have Amber with us today. She's off camera still, but she's here. And she's going to say whether she agrees with them or disagrees with them. Now, keep in mind, I am 42 years old. She is 15 years old. So are we going to agree on everything the same? What do you think, Amber?
No.
No, she says no way. Now, remember to talk loud so we hear you, okay? Yeah. All right, so number one, quit shopping when you're hungry. When you are hungry, you are going to look for all of the items that you think, ooh, I'm hungry and I want a bite of that. So I want some chips, I want some candy, I want ice cream, I want pudding, I want everything that I like, okay? So is it a bad idea to shop when you're hungry? I say absolutely. Now, I go shopping a lot. I'm the only one in our house that does the shopping. Amber will go with me sometimes. Axon will go with me sometimes, but I'm the one picking up everything, right? When I take other people with me and they are hungry, they like to add things to the cart. And the next thing you know, my grocery budget has went from the $30 I plan to spend to the $50 I actually spend once you add in the soda they wanted to check out, the candy bar or the chips or whatever it is, because they're hungry and they see it and they want it. So shopping when hungry, I say bad idea. Amber, what do you say?
I agree because usually like pastries and everything, you can make them yourself at home with things you already have. So there's really no point in spending extra money for something you're hungry for when you can just make it at home for yourself.
Yeah, see, that's a pretty smart observation. I like that. Why don't you scoot your chair up just a little bit so we make sure we're capturing everything you're saying. So number two is something you may have never thought of, using the wrong shopping cart. Okay, if I'm making a quick trip into the store, I only need 3 items. And I get a big buggy, right? My 3 items look lonely in there and they need some friends. And so I will find myself going to like the clearance bread section, the clearance produce section, the clearance meat section, and picking up friends for my items, right? When I only went in for milk, bread, and eggs, I tend to walk out with more things. So I think choosing the right shopping cart for the job is important. So if I need a lot of items, I'll get the big buggy. If I need a medium amount of items, I'll get the one that's the 2 small carts together. And then if I'm only going in for a couple of things, I'll get the handheld basket so that I'm not overdoing it. So number 2, wrong shopping cart. Do I agree or disagree with this one? I would say it depends. If I'm in a high spend month where I have flexible income to spend and I want to look for those clearance deals to stock a freezer, I will get the bigger shopping cart than I need. However, if it is a month where I'm doing low spend or no spend shopping, or I'm trying to save money inside of that budget, I will grab the smaller cart and only pick up what I need, because I feel like I'm already there. I should look for the good deals while I'm there if I have the funds available. Amber, how do you feel about wrong shopping cart size?
I agree on it actually, because usually to me, usually sometimes when I have money to spend, usually if I get a bigger cart, then like you said, I'll want more things to go with it, and then for me, I just lose my attention on it, and then I'll just pay attention to something else that's in the aisle that I want or something.
Yeah.
But if I have like a smaller cart for, like you said, like 3 items, then I'll be okay with it. And I won't
because it looks full.
Because it looks full, exactly.
So Amber and I are both ADHD. Okay? So does getting a bigger shopping cart, you said you get distracted in the aisle and stuff. And then you've got more room to add your distractions too, right? Do you think that's an ADHD thing as well? Because I kind of see it that way a little bit.
It depends.
Depends.
Because everyone is different with it, so.
Okay. So number 3, becoming lazy or complacent, right? We get tired of looking for the good deals. We get tired of shopping a certain way. We get tired of meal planning at home. And so we become lazy or complacent, and we just go to the store and shop the old school way, right? We just walk around the store. We pick up what we want. We don't worry about prices. We don't worry about if those items go together to make specific meals. So is becoming lazy or complacent a bad thing? I say yes, and I say it's hard because everyone gets burned out. Everyone gets to a point where they're like, man, I wish I could just go to the store and just pick up a basket of things and not worry about it. But with prices and the sizes of products these days, I think that's increasingly hard to do because you're going to overspend every time. So do you think becoming lazy or complacent with like meal planning and planning out your shopping trips is a bad thing?
I kind of see it both ways,
Okay.
honestly. Because there's ways where, like, you'll be waiting for one item to go on sale forever, and there'll just be no sales on it, and then you can't really get it until it goes on sale. And then there'll be other times where, like, oh, hey, there's something I really want that's on sale, so, like, let's go plan a shopping trip and go get it. So, like, I see it both ways.
I know which item she wants that doesn't go on sale enough.
What?
Oreos.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably. Okay, so number 4 is only shopping at one store. Now, I know there are people that live in certain geographical locations where maybe one store is the only option you have. But is only shopping at one store costing you money? Yes. If you shop the loss leaders at different stores, then you are going to save money. What I would say with this is there's a caveat to it, right? How much time and gas are you spending to be able to shop at multiple stores? So we love to go to Tom Thumb for some of their loss leader items. Tom Thumb is 30 something minutes away. So you've got 30 minutes of drive time there, 30 minutes of drive time back, where my other stores, Kroger and Brookshire's, are right across the street from one another. So it's not costing me any additional travel time or gas to go to both stores. We are getting a Tom Thumb in Waxahachie. Miraculously, we have 4 walls to our Tom Thumb now. We still need a roof, shopping aisles, cash registers, all that good stuff, but it's coming, and that makes us really happy. Then I also have to plan out like Costco and Sam's because, again, it's 30 something minutes at least from my house to get to those things. So only shopping at one store can cost you money because you're going to pay more for certain items, but you have to look at how much time and how much gas am I going to spend in order to be shopping at multiple stores. So that's my take on it. If you have multiple stores available, they're all in a vicinity close to one another, definitely shop multiple stores. However, if you're going to drive 30 minutes just to save $1 total on your purchase, then you've wasted more in gas and time than you saved. So Amber, how do you feel about that one?
I agree, because, like you said, that it'll be more drive time and everything. But another thing that I kind of want to add to that is that sorry, I completely lost my thought. But
It's okay.
yeah,
Again, we're ADD.
yeah.
Bear with us.
So another thing that I want to add is just like maybe like you can still go to stores that are far from your house. Just try to not do it as frequently as you're doing like the other small stores that are near you. Like maybe like you might go shopping once a week or something, like on one day per week, and then for those stores that are far away, I would say maybe 1 or twice a month. Like
Yeah. And
not
one
as
thing
frequent.
we try to do is if we're going to go to Tom Thumb, we do it when we're going to Sam's, because Sam's is right there by it, or we'll do it when we're headed into Fort Worth to do other things and back, so that we're hitting it on the way, right? So we're not spending additional money just to go to Tom Thumb, right? Okay. So number 5 is only buying name brand items. I know a lot of people that are guilty about this. They will say, I'm only buying Del Monte. I refuse to buy store brand vegetables. But what they don't understand is a lot of these products go through the exact same assembly lines. It is put in these cans that are going to be labeled Del Monte. It is going in these cans that are going to be labeled Green Giant, so forth and so on. A perfect example of this is when we lived in Fort Worth, there's the Mrs. Baird's bread factory there. They also make Entenmann's. They make Bimbo bread products. They make a lot of different products, right? It's all made exactly the same on the exact same assembly lines, and then it's labeled differently. My husband's been on beer tours at beer factories because there's a beer factory in Fort Worth as well, and they do the exact same thing. They make the beer and then they label it, for several different companies. So I used to be bad about this too, only buying name brand items. I have gotten away from that because I have found 9 times out of 10, the item is just as good in a generic brand as it is in a name brand. The one that I would say we have not gotten to is ice cream. The kids and daddy still prefer name brand ice cream, whether it's Bluebell or like the Oreo one or whatever. They're not huge fans of generic ice cream. So Amber, how do you feel about name brand versus generic items?
I agree. Because sometimes the store brand will the food will either taste just as good, the same, or sometimes even better.
Sometimes even better. And it's also in how you season things too. Like if you season things right, it's going to taste the same anyways. At least to us it does. Okay, so number 6 is kind of a double one. It's called not making a list, but also going off list. Okay, so think about both of these as I'm talking about it. So not making a list. Just going to the store, walking the aisles, and picking things up as you go. You're going to get home, you're going to have overspent because you're not looking at the sale items, and you're going to have this hodgepodge of things that you picked up, and now how do I turn that into meals for the week? And I used to shop that way. So I used to just pick up baskets full of stuff, take it home, and then I would be like, man, I don't have half the stuff to make this, I don't have half the stuff to make that, right? Now, going off list. Is it okay to go off list? In my opinion, yes, it's okay to go off list. Because perhaps you walk in and you're, planning to get these 5 items and they're out of 4 of them. This happens a lot where the stores just don't have the items in stock. But then I walk over to the clearance meat section and they've got 10 pounds of hamburger marked down to $1.50 a pound when it's normally $3.99 a pound. If I choose to only stick to the list, I'm going to walk out and ignore that good deal, right? Or if I'm okay with going off list because, hey, I didn't get 4 of the 5 items I came for, so now let's use that money to stock up on this amazing deal on hamburger. To me, that's the smart move to make. So not making a list, I agree. That's going to cost you money every single time. Going off list, I think you have to look at it as a case-by-case basis. But if it's a great deal like that that's going to save you over 50% on something, I say go for it. If you have the funds available, I say go for it. So Amber, how do you feel about not making a list?
I think that you should always make a list before you go.
Mhm.
Like look around your house, see what you need, and then write it down and make a list for that. And then try to go off on that. And then
going off list, how do you feel about that?
I don't think you should go off list unless you really, really need something. Like you forgot it on your list and you're like, oh, hey, I need this like really bad. So I would just, at that point, I would grab the item that I needed.
Okay.
And I just forgot I needed it.
Okay. I see your point on that one. Okay. So number 7 is buying too much of any one food. Okay. So maybe bananas are on a great deal. I know bananas are cheap anyways. I'm just using it as an example. Bananas are on a great deal. Mangoes are on a great deal. Avocados are on a great deal, right? So you're like, ooh, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of these. But can you use them up before they're going to go bad? Can you freeze them if you need to? I recently did this in a big way. I bought lemons and limes at Sam's Club instead of the regular store. I bought big, huge bags of them. And then I was like, I haven't even used these and they're already going to start to go bad, right? And so I bought too much of something that I wasn't going to be able to use. Now, it did turn out that I can freeze those, and I did freeze them, so we're all good there. But you have to be careful not to buy so much of something that you're not going to be able to use it. So I'm not worried about that with like canned foods or anything like that. I'm just talking like fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, bread, eggs, milk, just buying too much of something and then not being able to use it before it goes bad. Amber, would you agree on that one?
I agree, mainly because
sorry, my nose is itchy today.
I agree because
oh, you're fine.
I agree mainly because the fact that I would only, in my opinion, I would only buy something that's on sale that I need or something that I really, really like. So let's say if avocados go on sale, I don't like avocados, so I wouldn't buy them even if they were on sale. And these things that are on sale that I don't need, I kind of ignore it.
Right, but let's
on fruits and everything.
Yeah, so you like bananas.
Yeah,
right?
So I would buy bananas if they were on sale because I like bananas. I'll eat them before they go bad.
But would you just grab a bunch of bananas, or would you think about realistically, I'm only going to eat 1 banana a day, so I really only need 6 before they go bad?
I would think realistically, I wouldn't grab too much. To me, just 1 thing of bananas is fine.
It's plenty.
I don't need to get 5 and overstock and then they all go bad. So.
Yep. Good thought. Okay, so number 8, ignoring coupons and cashback apps. Okay, so this is one thing that I do is I will check the coupons through whatever store it is, like Kroger, Tom Thumb, Berkshire's. Then I will match the deals, and I'll match everything up with what is on Ibotta, Fetch, and Shopkick to save me the most money total between the coupons and the cashback apps. Now, I don't do as much Shopmium as some YouTubers do. I have found 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter. I submit things to Shopmium and nothing ever works correctly. I don't know what the problem is there. I don't like that one, so I just choose not to use it. Checkout 51 I've used in the past. I've had similar issues there, but I don't have any problems with Fetch, Shopkick, or Ibotta, so those are the ones that I use. But yes, if you are ignoring the digital coupons, you are ignoring retailer coupons, vendor coupons, and you're ignoring cashback apps, you are going to spend more money because you're not getting that money off. You're not getting that money back. Okay, so that's how I feel. How do you feel about coupons and cashback apps?
I think you should use them. And, like, honestly, in some cases, like, if a coupon doesn't work in the store, like, you can ask someone, but, like, in my opinion, I'm too embarrassed to ask someone, so I get all nervous and everything.
This is a big thing between us. When Amber goes shopping with me and something doesn't ring up right, and I will talk to the worker about it or go to the cash or the guest services about it, she gets easily flustered and embarrassed by that.
Yeah.
Right? She does. So she'll learn one day when it's her money, like, it counts.
Yeah,
you know,
I know
it does
it
count.
counts. It's just kind of like
She just doesn't like to talk to people about it. Yeah. Okay, number 9 is not doing the math beforehand. Okay, so especially for people that are on a budget, right? Like, I don't want to spend more than $100 this month. If I don't do the math beforehand and figure out what my best deals are going to be, and I just go into the store and start buying things, before you know it, I'm going to be spending $200, $300, $400 easily in the grocery store. And then look what I've done to my budget. My budget was $100. I've spent $400. I've really messed up bad. So I am absolutely a fan of doing the math beforehand. I use an Excel spreadsheet. I put in the prices. I put in the limits. I put in how many I plan to buy. I calculate everything out to the penny on what I want to spend before I go to the store. That way I know exactly what I'm getting when I go to the store. Now, Amber, would you be willing to do that before you go to the store? Or how do you feel like you would handle it?
I think it depends, honestly, because I can always add up the total before I go to the store, like you said, or I can always have a calculator, like the calculator app on your phone, and you can always add as you go.
Yeah, you can do that too. Now, what I would say about doing it that way is, what if you're like dead set, I'm only spending $50, and now I'm going to add this item in my cart, and now it's $52.69. How do you know what you're going to take off because you don't know the prices of all those items that are in your cart?
That's true, honestly. But honestly, if it was like something I really needed and I added it and then it was $52.96,
You'd be okay with it.
I would be okay with it.
Yeah, she would be okay with it. All right, so number 10, we'll see if Amber even knows what this one is. Not checking your unit price. Do you know what a unit price is?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about this one. Not checking your unit prices, right? So let's talk about things like oil. Okay, so you need to buy olive oil, and this one is $6.99 and this one's $18.99. And you think, oh, the $6.99 is cheaper. That's definitely a better deal, right? But you have to look at how much is in the bottle and break it down by ounce. So your $6.99 bottle might be 16 ounces. So you're paying, I'm not going to figure out the math, not doing the math beforehand, but let's just say it comes down to $1.89 an ounce, right? But your $16.99 bottle was 100 ounces and it comes out to 16 cents an ounce. Okay, so you're paying more up front, but you're paying way less per ounce, so you're saving a lot more money over the long run. So a good example of this is dog food. We had to get dog food for Flapjack yesterday, and we've been buying it in small 5-pound bags just to get him used to everything. And so we figured it out because the next size up is 35-pound bag, and we were like, do we really want to buy a big 35-pound bag? And when we figured it up, if we bought the same amount of 5-pound bags that it would take for 35 pounds, figured out the price, it was going to cost us almost $50 more if we kept buying it in 5-pound bags versus just going ahead and buying the 35-pound bag. So not checking your unit prices, right? Like making sure you're getting the best deal. I say I don't do this. I never check the unit prices on things. I did on the dog food yesterday just because I wanted to test that out. But I'm not one to go in the store and look and say this one's $1 cheaper, and so per ounce I'm spending 32 cents on this one, I'm spending 36 cents on this one. I don't do all that. I've never done all of that, and I can't say it's really hurt me the way that I shop. So I don't know. Like if I go to Sam's or something, I might pay more attention to those packages and sizes and stuff, but I don't even compare that to my grocery store. So I did a video on that for you guys, comparing like where the best unit prices were on things. But typically on a week-to-week basis, do I check unit prices? No. Amber, how do you feel about unit prices?
I would check unit prices.
You would. So you would be more strict about it than I am?
Yes, I would, because I just think, like, why go to the more expensive route when there's something cheaper that might have more, or it might have the same amount.
So you're willing to spend the extra time to figure that part out? Okay. Go her, because I'm not doing it. All right, so the next one, number 11, is frequent or infrequent shopping trips. So both of these can bite you in the butt. Shopping too frequently can bite you in the butt because the more you're in the store, the more things you're going to pick up, the more you're going to spend. I actually had a friend that asked me, Misty, do you think I should do a once a week shopping trip, or do you think I should go every day and only buy what I need for that day? Absolutely not. Do not do that. Because then you're not thinking ahead of like, hey, if I had picked up the 2-pound package of chicken instead of the 1 pound, I would have had chicken for Monday and Wednesday. Right? Or you're not thinking ahead at all. So you're going to overspend for sure. But then infrequent shopping trips can bite you too, because you're not finding the best deals. And so now you're like, okay, I haven't been to the store in a month and I've got to have chicken, and oh, it was 99 cents or $1.99 a pound most of the month, but now by the time I need it, it's $4.99 a pound, right? So you've missed out on the deals, and now you're going to have to pay the $4.99 instead of the $1.99. So Amber, how do you feel about too frequent shopping?
I don't think you should shop super frequently, because like you said, it'll cost a lot. And
yeah. And you understand how you're not planning ahead, so
yeah,
you might be buying the same thing over and over again in small packages, where that larger package would have gave you that better unit price, right?
And honestly, for me, I would shop like either once a week or once every 2 weeks.
Okay. And what about infrequent shopping trips?
Like, yeah, I think infrequent shopping trips are kind of bad too, because there will be stuff that you need, and then you'll be like, oh crap, I should have bought that when I saw it the first time. And then
yeah, and you waited and now it's more. Okay. So she sees it pretty much the same way I do. So number 12, I don't know why I made this 12 and 13. I don't know what I did here, but this is 12 and 13, I guess. It's kind of different. Overspending on ingredients. And then number 13 is not using substitutions. So they go hand in hand, right? So overspending on something that's a one-off. So if I'm cooking and it calls for white wine, okay, I don't keep white wine in the house. White wine is not the cheapest ingredient, and I choose not to use a substitution. So now I go to the store and I spend a chunk of my $25 for the week on white wine for the recipe, right? Or I could have took 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, and stopped and Googled on my phone or on the computer, what substitutions can I use for white wine in this recipe? And it would have told me like, hey, chicken broth's perfectly acceptable in this recipe. I have chicken broth. Boom. I just saved myself the cost of that bottle of white wine. And I'm not saying you're always going to be able to do that with one-off ingredients, but 9 times out of 10, if you take a minute and you Google, it's going to give you a list of substitutions. I do this all the time with herbs and spices that I don't have. Like, I don't keep this one on hand because it's rather expensive. I'll Google and it says, hey, you can use rosemary. I'm just using that as an example. I have rosemary. Cool, we're good to go. And the recipes always work out. And I'm trying to do this more on ingredients that I could easily make out of things I already have at home. Heavy whipping cream, I already have butter, I already have milk. Heavy whipping cream's gotten expensive. I could make it myself. Same thing with buttermilk. Very, very rarely do I have a recipe that calls for buttermilk, but I've learned that with vinegar and milk, I can make my own buttermilk. And so I can take that out because those are things that I already have. So I don't have to spend the money for that one-off ingredient that's something I could substitute in my own that I've made myself, or completely substitute something else for. Because it may say, hey, this is fine, just use this instead. And it'll even tell you like, when I was learning about the heavy cream, like if you're not going to use whole milk, you need to add this much flour. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do. So Amber, how do you feel? Like if you were making a recipe and you had a one-off weird ingredient, would you just go buy the ingredient?
No.
Or would you look for those cheaper substitutions?
I'll look for the cheaper substitutions.
And what about when it comes down to like, okay, I could just go to the store and buy heavy cream, or I've got to spend 15 minutes and make my own heavy cream. What would you do?
I would just make my own heavy.
You would make your own? See, that's my answer too. I would just make my own. But then I know how I am, and sometimes I don't have a lot of time, right? Because I've got to get kids to karate, I got to get one kid to drum lessons, whatever the case may be. So spending that extra 15 minutes to make the heavy cream might be a pain in the butt.
I would just say it depends.
Yeah, I think it depends too on if you have the time available to do it. But if I can find an easy substitution, definitely going to do it. So number 14 is know your target prices in your area. I think I know what I did here. I think I just got off on my numbering. This is going to be number 13. Know your target prices in your area. If you don't know what the prices normally are at the store, how are you going to know if the sale price is a good deal or not? Just because Kroger or Target or Walmart or Brookshire's or H-E-B, whoever the case is, put something in the ad and says it's on sale does not mean it is a good price. Just because you go to Winco and on the end of an end cap it says, hey, compared to Albertsons and Tom Thumb, we're cheaper, not necessarily the truth. Because if you Google it, you may find that that's a little misleading. And that's what I've found. So if you don't know what the normal prices are, you're not going to understand what the sale prices are. So what I would recommend is, like, if chicken's going to be on sale for $1.99 a pound and you're really not sure if that's a good deal or a bad deal, Google, take a minute, go into the Tom Thumb app, go into the Brookshire's app, see what they're selling chicken for, then compare it to the sale price at Kroger and be like, oh yeah, I'm saving $3 a pound. So you've got to know what your target prices are, and if you're unsure, do a little research on them. So Amber, how do you feel about that one?
Honestly, I agree with you. Like, just do the research, and in the end, it will be worth it. So.
So right now, at 15 years old, okay, and you go to the grocery store with me some.
Yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head, just be honest, like how much hamburger is a pound?
No.
Okay. Do you know what milk is for a gallon of milk? Do you know what a dozen eggs is?
No.
No. So she doesn't know, right? And that's 90% of shoppers that just go and shop, is they don't know. So let's just say that I told you right now that eggs are $1.99 for 18.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good sale price or a bad sale price?
Dollar what?
$1.99 for 18.
I don't know.
See, she doesn't know. So what would you do?
I would look it up.
Just look on another site. And if you don't want to compare it to multiple sites, just go to Walmart and compare it, right? Go to walmart.com and compare it. But I will tell you this, Walmart doesn't have sales really on groceries, so that may not be your best option. But okay, number 14, shopping on the wrong days and times at your store. So this can be a big one, because especially if you're someone like me that wants to look for those markdown items, whether it's markdown produce, meat, bread, those are going to be put out pretty much at a set time and schedule throughout the week. So you've got to learn when those times are at your store. So I know pretty much at my stores, the clearance markdown stuff comes out at about 10:30 in the morning. It is mostly gone by like 12:30. So I need to be on the lookout for that during those times if I want to be able to do that. Sale items, okay, especially the big ones that are like Friday, Saturday, Sunday only. I better get my Tushy into the store on Friday or it is not going to be available, because my stores are only ordering limited quantities of it, and we just don't have it by the time I get to the store on a Sunday. So I say this is a big one, especially if you're someone that's wanting to save money on groceries, is knowing when to shop at your stores. Amber, how do you feel about this one?
I agree with you, because I've seen you do it before, and you're like, because like there will be something I want in the store, and I'll ask you if I can get it or not, and then be like, hey, they'll be on sale in like a month or so, or a few weeks, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, cool.
So not only knowing what days and times to shop, but knowing the rotation of the sales schedule.
Yeah.
See, that's a great point, and that's one that I didn't include in here. She's smart for 15 years old. knowing that rotation of your sales, that things do go on sale about every 4 to 6 weeks, you'll start seeing the same sales. So she's got that one down, that like, yeah, Oreos go on sale about every 6 weeks. I can wait another 2 weeks for my Oreos, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't like to wait for Oreos though. She loves Oreos. Okay, so number 15, our last one for today, not shopping at home first. So, you know, we just talked about the prepper pantry stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay, how to use up what you have at home and making your list, right? We just talked about that in this video, not making a list. So you have to shop at home first, right? You have to know what you've got that you can use before you know what you need to buy at the store. So I kind of confused her when I said shopping at home first. Not shopping at the store, shopping what you already have at home. So this is a big one. Like, you don't, unless you're just looking to stock up on something. Like, if I need chicken for a recipe, I'm not going to go to the store and buy chicken when I already have chicken in the freezer. Unless I'm like, I know I'm almost out of chicken and I'm looking to stock up on chicken. But you have to shop at home first. You have to meal plan around what you already have at home and then only pick up the additional items you need. I agree with that. You have to shop at home first. You have to know what you have before you know what you need. Amber, how do you feel?
I agree. You should always look at home, see if you have it first, and then, like you said, like, I disagree with your point. I think you just said everything I was going to say.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So that's today's video. 15 common mistakes at the grocery store that are costing you money. So if you'll try to avoid these pitfalls, I think you'll find that you will definitely save some money on your grocery budget. So I hope you'll like the video. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and stick around and leave some positive comments for Amber. I want to get her on the channel. We have a lot of fun together, and I think we could make some fun videos if I could get her on camera. And then you could point out if she looks like me or not. She's laughing. All right, guys, that's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Bye.